Hey everyone, it's Sam from Hive Makerspace. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a really simple project in Illustrator. We're going to be making a keychain, and this is something that not only will teach you some of the basic tools in Illustrator, but will also teach you how to set up a file to be cut and engraved on the Epilog. So first we're going to start by entering in our information for the file. So here I have a width of 24 inches and a height of 12 inches. That's because I'm working with a sheet of acrylic that is 24 by 12 inches. So I'm going to leave that like it is. And here we only want to have one artboard, and we do not want a bleed on this file. And now we're going to go to the advanced options. We're going to make sure that we're working in a color mode of RGB. Everything else is set to go, and now we'll hit create. So the first step in this is to create a rectangle that will be our keychain. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool here, and you can pull that up by holding down on this ellipse tool and selecting rectangle. And using this tool, you can either click and drag to create your rectangle, or you can just click and this window will pop up. I'm going to use this because, this option allows me to enter in exact settings. These are the dimensions that I want, so I'm going to hit OK, and now I have my rectangle. It's really small, so I'm going to zoom in. And my next step will be to create some rounded corners on this keychain. I don't really want a keychain that's going to stab me while I'm carrying it in my pocket. So I'll just grab one of these little circles here, and by clicking and dragging, I can bring in the corners as much as I want. Next, I'm going to go back to this rectangle tool and change it to an ellipse tool, maybe. I'm going to click again. Here looks good. I'm going to make this a 1/4 inch. I can click this chain link here, and it'll connect together, and now it'll change it so that it stays a perfect circle. I'm going to click OK, and now I have a circle that is 1/8 of an inch. Might be a little bit too small. So I'm going to hold down Shift and click and drag on this corner and increase the size. And this is where a key ring will go through the keychain. So now I'm going to click and drag to select both of these, and I'm going to use this tool up here, the horizontal align center tool, to line them up with each other. I'm going to nudge this up a little bit, and now we have the shape of our keychain and the hole that it will cut out. Next, we're going to add some text. Mother's Day is coming up, so I'm going to create a keychain that says number 1 mom. I'm going to change this to a fun font. And now I'm going to come over here, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say I used the type tool over here to create that type. Next, I'm going to go back to the selection tool and grab the corner of this, and holding down Shift, I'm going to drag to increase the size of it. So now there's this big space here, not really a fan of that, and you can fix that by double-clicking into the type and highlighting and going up to character here, and I'm going to teach you a graphic design trick. We're going to adjust the leading of this type, which means each individual line of type, the space in between them, that's what we're fixing. So I'm going to hold the down arrow and just bring those closer together. I'm also going to center my type. And then I'll go back to the selection tool and click and drag to here. Seems like it can be bigger, so I'm going to hold down Shift and make it larger, and center it again. Alright, that looks pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is click on my text one time, then I'm going to right click, and over here there's this option to create outlines. I'm going to click on that, and what that does is it turns our text from text into a shape. And this is not something you always have to do, but when you're creating a file to be engraved on the Epilog, it's best to turn all of your type to outlines, because the laser doesn't always read text like it should. And now we only have one more step. We're going to click on our rectangle here. We have to enter in a few settings so that the laser reads these as cut lines instead of engraved lines. The first thing we're going to do is go over to the swatches panel here, which is on the right hand side, and this little guy there. And we're going to take our fill and change it to none. And next we're going to change our stroke to RGB red. Looks like here we have CMYK red, so we're just going to make a new swatch with an R value of 255, a G value of 0, and a B value of 0. We're going to call this RGB red. And now we're going to do the exact same thing with our circle. So again, fill of none, stroke of RGB red. Now I'm going to click and drag to highlight both objects, and we're going to go over to the stroke panel. I'm going to change this weight from 1 to 0.001, and that is the weight that the laser needs in order to read something as a cut line. I'm going to hit enter, and now we have a finished file. You can hardly see those lines, but they are there, and these will both cut out, and this text here will engrave, and you just made yourself a keychain.